Hi again, everybody. Rick Kessler and Sherman Goldenberg with RV Business Magazine. And for this issue of Capital Talk, we're joined by Phil Ingrassia, president of the RV Dealers Association, and also serving a term as chairman of the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable. Phil, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here, gentlemen.
Big news yesterday, or not yesterday, maybe last week, I think it was, where we're getting some traction going on the Con Expo.
Right. That was big news for us last week. We are now accepting workshop proposals from the industry and other speakers. We opened the portal up on Friday, and that's going to be open through the end of the month. So people who want to speak at the convention in the workshop area can submit their proposals to speak. Some of the areas are kind of evergreen in sales, dealer general management, but people are also looking very closely at, post-COVID planning. How do we keep the momentum going into 2022 as far as sales and marketing? So there's a lot of opportunity, and it should be a great event.
Phil, the not so subliminal message here is that it looks to you at this point, and I'm asking, as if RVDA is going full bore into the Con Expo this year.
Right. Well, our board met in late January and via Zoom. We have not met in person yet, but we are planning to. But at that time, they gave the staff the authority to drive on with our exhibit hall and our workshops in person at Paris in Las Vegas. And so that's November 8th.
To 11.
8 through the 12th. And so we're going to be there at Paris, where we were a few years back and had a very good and successful convention. So they gave us the go-to to do that. We did do some surveying of the members prior to announcing the workshop proposals. And, it came back very, very strong. We had more than 120 dealers participate in the survey, which is good for a survey that was open less than a week. Right now, 70% of the dealers are saying that they are traveling for business right now. And we have about 20% who said they haven't made a decision. So I think people were very clear in their responses to the survey that they are planning to travel for business and that they certainly want to have an in-person event. We will have an element of virtual. What in the association's parlance is a hybrid event. So we will have some on-demand content for people that are going to be back at the dealership or maybe still don't feel 100% comfortable traveling. But the bulk of the content will be delivered live.
And I'm hearing in the media last week that Las Vegas is reopening also. Is that what you're hearing?
Yes, the governor a couple of weeks ago announced a staged reopening. And so they're going to allow larger groups to start meeting in Vegas starting this month, March of 2021. And then they're going to kind of a stair-step reopening. And eventually the state is going to get out of it and allow the localities, so the city of Las Vegas, to determine what's safe, for events. And so we expect to be, we don't have the exact numbers yet, but we expect to have the bulk of our convention space, the bulk of our workshop space available to us. What the protocols will be, are we going to be masked up? We don't know yet, but certainly that is something that we'll be communicating to the industry and to the attendees as we get closer and closer to November.
Well, we should insert here that, because we've been pretty quiet, that RV Business is in the final stages of bringing back the top 50 dealer awards as well. And we look forward to, again, your hosting of our event in Vegas. It almost sounds like happy days are here again.
Well, it almost does. You know, like I said, we still don't know exactly what the protocols will be, but that's where we're aiming to get back to as close to a normal convention as we can. And we certainly are looking forward to the top 50 because that's important, you know, to show support for the customer, to show support for the dealers, the employees who enjoy that event so much. And certainly it's an event that is kind of the centerpiece of the convention, falling right in the middle of the week there.
Rick, go ahead.
No, I'm just, well, thank you, Phil, for that sentiment there. We're proud of it too. I'm trying to picture all of the dealers and everybody else who attends the pent up demand to be at an in-person show again, especially Con Expo. Lots of education and some business takes place, but is a bit of networking and social activity.
You know, absolutely. I'm in kind of a 20 group for association executives, much like dealers are in 20 groups with similar size dealers or similarly situated dealers. I do the same thing. And it's been amazing to me to watch the group, their attitude towards in-person meeting change within the last 6 weeks. And basically since vaccines have become more and more available. Obviously right now as we speak, there's still limited supply, but everybody expects that to get better. So people are definitely planning on it. And you know what I'm hearing, not only from our industry, but from other industries, especially when you're in equipment businesses, you know, the virtual is fine, but you know, there's that one-on-one networking, touch, feel the product, talking with people. You know, these are big investments you're making sometimes when you're dealing with some of the vendors, and you want to, you know, you want to press the flesh. And certainly we're seeing, you know, more equipment shows planned. You know, SEMA's go, which is the week before we are. So, you know, we're looking forward to getting back to pretty much as normal as we can, whatever the situation is in November.
It felt normal when last I saw it for the Con Expo was a show that was gaining momentum. It was on a build, and it was 2 consecutive years before the pandemic. Thank you enters the picture, but it really was gaining stature in the modern constellation of shows.
Right, and we want to keep that up. You know, we have a great Convention Expo committee chaired by Nathan Hart of Walnut Ridge there in Indiana. And, you know, they work really hard to keep their ear to the ground, figure out what's going to be important to dealers, try to anticipate, you know, what's ahead for 2022. I think there is a lot of talk within the industry. Okay, post-COVID, how are we going to keep this momentum going? How are we going to serve customers better? How are we going to keep the new people that we brought in the industry to buy and buy again? And so I expect a lot of interesting dialogue surrounding that area, people's plans for 2022. And, you know, certainly RVDA wants to provide dealers the tools, the resources so that they can, you know, be part of that solution of keeping people involved in RV travel and camping for the long term, not just to have a COVID bump and then, you know, go back to 300,000 units a year. That's not what anybody wants.
I got one more question. It's something Rick and I talked about beforehand. Give us a quick snapshot of your dealer members in their status right now in early March of 2021.
Well, you know, we're hearing that demand is still there. Dealers are looking at their internet traffic, seeing it spike still. People are very, very interested in RV travel. There's still limitations in a lot of areas, and people don't know exactly when other forms of travel are going to be completely open, right? So there's a lot of interest in RV camping, being outdoors. All the outdoor recreation companies are seeing that, from boats to equipment, through the outdoor recreation roundtable, those folks I interact with. I think if there's a concern out there, we've seen some of the shipment forecasts, the sales forecasts out there. Dealers are concerned that, okay, is the inventory going to hit at the right time, right? Are we going to, especially the northern tier dealers, Midwest dealers, Pacific Northwest, are they going to get that inventory in time for their season? I do believe that the manufacturers and suppliers I know they're working very, very hard to meet the demand. And, we do need to get that inventory on dealers' lots while camping season's going on to hit some of these big numbers that we're talking about.
Okay, Rick, anything to add there?
The only thing I can add is just once again to thank you, Phil, for your time this afternoon.
Thank you. I can hardly wait to see you guys in person. It's been over a year, right? So we need to get together and enjoy a beverage with our friends. That's for sure.
Maybe yet this year. I mean, for sure yet this year. How's that?
Absolutely, for sure.
All right. Pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.